Hello YouTube, back once again with my film reviews, and last night I saw the technically 2015 released film, The Revenant, and the plot of this movie is, after being left for dead by Tom Hardy, and after Tom Hardy's killed his son, Leonardo DiCaprio is able to pull through and goes and is hell-bent to catch Tom Hardy and kill him, and that's a lot of the movie. What's the good and bad of this movie? The good of this movie is, one, the lead performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. This is definitely one of the best performances he's given of his career. He does, considering a good part of this movie, he barely, early on, his throat gets somewhat cut, so he has trouble speaking. He does not speak that much in this movie, Leonardo DiCaprio, and he does a great job though with DiCaprio, but with conveying emotions and just seeming like he's truly suffering throughout this film from beginning to end, just for how much pain this guy goes through. And this is definitely not his typical shouting, angry, horrible human being role, entertainingly horrible person role, something like Django or Wolf of Wall Street. This is definitely not that. It's definitely one of the better performances he's given his career. So, good job to Leonardo DiCaprio. Also, Tom Hardy as the main villain. Tom Hardy, did a great job at he did a great job for the fact he was able to convey a very believable dick in this movie. He is not an over-the-top villain, like some guy who's just pure evil, just a complete psychopath of a guy. He's a guy that, if you were in this situation, probably just a mean dude probably would just do what he, make the choices he does. You're never, thinking, this guy is just, the worst human being who's ever lived. No, he's just not a nice human being who's just in this situation. So, Tom Hardy did a great job also. That was also great supporting work from, Domhnall Gleeson and Will Poulter. They both did great supporting work, and the action to this movie, the action is so wonderfully brutal from beginning to end. It did not hold back in any way. This movie is bloody, it's gory, it is violent, and it is incredibly effective, because it does not feel over the top in the way of, a Tarantino movie. This felt really real and brutal, just scenes the bear attack scene, that was super effectively gruesome of a scene. Definitely had me cringing in a few scenes. So that was great. That the main claim of fame to this movie, the cinematography to this movie was just absolutely gorgeous from beginning to end. This was the most beautiful movie I saw of 2015. Just the cinematography, it just did a great job at showing the early American frontier, just giving it. This whole movie had a very nice cold and quiet feeling to it. It didn't feel loud or explosive or at all warm in any way. And it did just do a great job at just showing what a beautiful and dangerous place that the early frontier in America truly was. And the fact that this was all done with natural lighting is just unbelievable. There are some shots in this movie I honestly do not understand how they were able to do it if they did only use natural lighting, because this movie was just. This is definitely the best looking movie I saw of 2015, so there's that. But, what are my issues with this movie? I did not think this was a perfect movie in any means, in any way. One, here's some minor ones. I thought some of the CGI effects were pretty bad. Some of the animals, I was like, I could clearly tell it was not real. There was that there were some scenes I could just not believe the survival of these characters. I do not care how hell-bent they are to survive. There are just some scenes when I was just after that I was dead, and no, they get up, and just start with DiCaprio for the fact he gets mauled by a bear early on in this movie, and even though he's by himself in the freezing cold, and swims through freezing icy cold water, he pulls through. He doesn't die of hypothermia or anything like that. No, he's able to pull through. He's fine. And then there's scenes when he were stabbed 5 times and they don't die, and then when someone's stabbed once they die. It's just why? This is very inconsistent. If they went for a very hyper reality where people could just take that much damage, I could believe it. But no, it's just it's very inconsistent with what the human body can endure in this film, and yeah, so they got my nerves in a few scenes, and that's some of the scenes that were meant to be like really artsy, they got kind of obnoxiously pretentious, like. It's like the joke, like you could just see the director running around just saying, like, ask me what it means, ask me what this means. Like, it got pretty annoying in a few scenes. Like, it just felt odd. But this is my hugest movie. Sorry. This is my hugest issue with the movie. The movie was just way too long. It sits at 2.5 hours. This movie sits at 2.5 hours. You could have so easily chopped a half hour in this movie. There's just so much of this movie, nothing is happening. Like, there are just so many scenes where just all the scene is, it's somebody staring, there's or walking somewhere, there's a shot of the wilderness, of the frontier, and there's an orchestral score playing in the background. That is so much of the movie's running time. I was like, after like the 7th time, you're like, just end movie. There's really not that much plot to go on. I mean, because really this movie just, DiCaprio pulls through, he goes after Hardy, he finds him. Like, it's really not that long of a, it's really not that much plot and not that much dialogue. I feel like this movie would have been much better if it was just 2 hours long, but that extra half hour got on my last nerve after a while. I was getting pretty bored by the end of this movie, but, so yeah, The Revenant, though, still, the acting, the cinematography, the brutality, definitely held this movie together for me, so I'm gonna give The Revenant a very solid 4 out of 5. A great movie, definitely a great way to close 2015, yeah, I don't think it deserves Best Picture. I think there are better movies that came out this year, but it was still a great one, and definitely worth a watch if you like. I would say just worth watching for the cinematography alone. But besides that, there's still the acting, especially from DiCaprio, is all great, and yeah. So I'd say go watch it. YouTube as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.